everybody. I'm Nicole.
I'm Lindsay.
And I'm Sarah, and together we're the co-founders of Whale Tales, a living library of cetacean stories.
It is Orca Action Month. Hooray! And to celebrate, we are doing things a bit differently than usual, but also the same as we've done for past Orca Action Months this month on the podcast.
So sit back and enjoy as we dive right in.
Happy Orca Month, everybody!
Hooray!
Yay! It's Orca Action Month. It's here. Hooray!
It is. And we're super excited, of course, as always. And to celebrate, we are releasing not just 1, but 4 podcast episodes this month.
Ooh, yes, that's right. We are in your ears earlier than usual because we'll be releasing a new episode every week, each highlighting a specific orca or orcas from around the world with a truly terrific tale.
These episodes will be a bit shorter than usual because we won't be including the Fun Flipper Fact segment, sad, or storytelling segments, extra sad, that we usually have in each episode. But never fear, that will all be back again next month.
Hooray! So let us introduce you to our first Orca Spotlight of the month, Old Tom, and his pod, Killers of Eden. And let me just say that in Muppet Treasure Island, there's Old Tom, really Old Tom, and Dead Tom, and there's no way that I'm not thinking about that this entire time. So
Indeed.
Go ahead.
You should always think about Muppet Treasure Island. It's
I know,
great.
agreed. And now our audience is as well, so congratulations. Welcome. Okay, back to whales. Old Tom was a male killer whale who frequented the port of Eden in New South Wales, which is on the southeast coast of Australia. He measured about 22 feet or 6.7 meters in length and weighed 6 tons. He was born somewhere between 1860 and 1895 and then was found dead on the 17th of September 1930 in Twofold Bay. Tom was believed to be the leader of a pod of orcas known as the Killers of Eden.
We went there.
We did.
And we had cheese. That's all I remember.
Sure.
Did you guys go to the museum when you were there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing. That'll come back later, folks. We're going to talk about the museum. But first, some more about Old Tom. He is best known, as is his pod, for the remarkable cooperative relationship that himself and his pod had with the whalers in the area. So Tom and the Killers of Eden would herd passing whales into the bay, then alert the whalers and take part in the chase to hunt and eventually kill those whales. He was often recognized himself by his distinctly tall dorsal fin, and he also regularly swam right into the mouth of Kia the Bay and then flop-tailed or tail-lobbed, so tail slapping the water, to signal that there was a whale that the pod was chasing in. I can't imagine what this would be like, just as a side note, to think about being a whaler and seeing this. It's so cool. I've always been fascinated by Old Tom's story. Why is there not a movie about this? I mean, well, no, I answered my own question because they kill whales.
Yep.
Yeah.
We forgot about that part. Yeah.
Yes.
Anyways, so then Old Tom would also accompany the boats during the chase so far that he would actually take one of the leading ropes from the boat in his teeth and tow the vessel, because at the time he could actually swim faster than most of the whaling vessels in the bay. And evidence of this can be seen in the distinctive wear patterns on the teeth of his lower jaw, especially one particular side of his lower jaw.
So crazy. So the relationship between orcas, referred to as bioas?
I think bioas.
Bioas, which is brothers in English, and the whalers began with the Katunga, the indigenous Australian whalers, around 10,000 years ago. The Katunga translated to seacoast people, or saltwater people, and they seem to have a similar cooperative relationship with orcas in the area, and routinely left food offerings for the bioas.
A lot of what we know about Old Tom and his pod come from the Davidson family. The Davidson family were the only group of white whalers, I'm assuming, that lived in Eden year-round. They relied on traditional whaling techniques like rowboats and hand harpoons, and Old Tom assisted 3 generations of the Davidson family whalers.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So crazy. This relationship actually was so strong between Tom and the Killers of Eden and the whalers in the area that it led to a local understanding and practice that was known as the law of the tongue. This law, in quotation marks, not like a real law. It's not proclaimed. But it was very much a practice that all whalers kept to, and it refers to the process of whalers anchoring one of their whale carcasses to either the bottom of the seafloor or in proximity to the shore, and allowing the orcas to feed on it. So orcas, as we've talked about in previous episodes, that eat marine mammals, their primary target, especially in baleen whales, is the tongue. And then if they can manage to feed on the tongue of these big baleen whales before they sink, which in this case, because it's a very shallow bay, that's not a problem, they will also go for the lips and the genitals. All of this is because they're... Yeah. But especially out if they make a catch in the open ocean.
Yeah, then it's just a tongue.
They're going to sink before they can get to that. But all of these areas are very easy access if you can get to the ventral side of a baleen whale and you are a killer whale with very sharp teeth, because they're not protected by bone.
Right.
So there's no ribs to protect sort of like all of the, I mean, I don't know how nutritious the lung would be, but all of the kind of like intestines.
Yeah, and livers and all that stuff, yeah.
And that kind of stuff. And, you know, like the soft palate of that chin, I don't know what took, like lower jaw to get to the tongue is very easy to rip through for a killer. This is kind of graphic. Sorry, listener. Anyways, so specifically, orcas will feed on that, and then they would not eat the blubber or the bones, which is what the whalers wanted. So those two resources the whalers were looking for remained unharmed, and then the whalers could remove them. And again, this cooperative relationship went on for tens of thousands of years, not necessarily with the law of the tongue, because I didn't find any research showing that was a practice with the Katunga, but the Katunga did have that food offering in some way. Yeah.
That's so cool. And yeah, like we said, if you are in Australia and if you're in Eden, which is along the Great Ocean Road, I believe, or it's on the way to the Great Ocean Road.
On the way.
You can go and see Old Tom's skeleton at the Eden Killer Whale Museum. So yeah, Lindsay and I were there like 16 and a half years ago. I don't know. Very long time ago.
17, yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh. Why? How are we so old?
I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, it was, I don't recall specifically Old Tom, but I do remember it being like an interesting whaling museum. Having been to North American whaling museums, it was interesting to see the difference. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I remember, I don't know if it was like the relationship and stuff, but I definitely remember there being a skeleton. So
yeah, no, I remember there being a skeleton, but I don't remember all the details. Yeah.
I will just point out that we'll have a link in the show notes where you can see the Killer Whale Museum of Eden, and specifically, there's a really beautiful picture on the page that we'll link to of Old Tom's skeleton. Yeah. And so if you were wondering, like, why do they know so many specifics about this wild killer whale? It's because they did find his body, and they have his skeleton, and you can go see it. And the picture shows the teeth and the wear marks from the rope, and it's really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's Old Tom. Before we go, we want to take a quick moment to tell you about one of the ways you can support our podcast and everything we do at Whale Tales.
You can join us by becoming a patron at patreon.com/whaletales. For $1 a month, you can join at the porpoise level, for $5 a month at the dolphin level, or for $10 a month at the whale level. Each level comes with a variety of perks. For example, our whale level patrons this month are getting access to our special Patreon-only podcast, Whale Tales Watches, where this month we're doing Free Willy 2. Thank you so much to all of our patrons. We are so grateful for your support.
And if you can't support us financially, we completely understand. Thank you for listening. We would love to hear your thoughts on this episode or any episode, so please visit our website at whale-tales.org, and you can find links to all of our social media handles so that you can drop us a line.
You can also head to our website to subscribe to the podcast and read over 1,400 whale, dolphin, and porpoise stories.
That's whale-tales.org. Tales like the stories, not tales like the animal.
And if you've seen a cetacean, we would love to add your story to our library. You can click the share link on our website. You can contact us on social media. We're at whaletales_org. Or you can email us a voice memo and tell us all about your incredible cetacean encounter.
Finally, we want to acknowledge that we recorded today's episode on the unceded territories of the Coast Salish peoples and the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations, as well as the homelands of the Tawasin First Nation.
We will be back next week with another Orca Spotlight, but for now, thank you again for listening and for supporting, and we hope you have a whaley great day.